Hello YouTube, hello Gut Cut. This is my next video. I realised that when I introduced myself the other day, I didn't really introduce myself. I mean, my name is Anna, etc. But I didn't really tell you guys my story. With my weight or my history or anything. To be honest, I didn't want to go into loads of detail on the internet. I won't. But I was thinking about it, and I was watching a few videos of other people, and sorry, like lipstick on my teeth. And I just found them really inspiring, and I have lost quite a bit of weight so far, so I just thought maybe you might find it inspiring. I don't know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. I started off well, okay, let's go right back to the beginning. My adult body. I left school in 2001, left secondary school in 2001, age 18, and I was about 9 stone, which is 133 pounds. That's only kind of about, because I wasn't weighing myself with any regularity, and I was kind of very faddy and didn't have a particularly healthy attitude to food. I didn't exercise at all, because in the last 2 years of secondary school it's not compulsory to exercise, so I didn't. And although I looked okay, I look back and I think, I look alright. I know how unhealthy I was. So this kind of proof positive that you can look normal and still kind of be really unhealthy. And that unhealthy attitude followed me right into university. I went to university in October of 2001. And by the end of the year, by the end of the first year, which finished in June 2002, I had gained about 40 pounds. An insane amount to gain in a year, but I did. I was also diagnosed with clinical depression. There are a lot of factors I'm not going to go into, and a lot of things, but one of the side effects was weight gain. And I was pretty miserable. It hasn't been easy kind of looking back to assess where I was. A lot of it is kind of a blur. But 2003, carrying on, a year later, I'd gained even more weight, and I was drinking a huge amount. By this point, I was developing kind of bulimic tendencies. I was binging and purging, not through throwing up, but through fasting, which is kind of on the way to bulimia, and then later I was throwing up. And drinking phenomenal amounts of alcohol and just generally gaining more weight. In 2004, I eventually had to drop out of university because I was so ill. And I gained a little bit more weight, but I started to get treated for depression, and finally got treated properly. And as part of my treatment, it was suggested to me, it's always suggested to depressed people, why don't you start doing exercise? Yeah, I can't get out of bed, so it's a little difficult, unless you want me to, do my sit-ups, and then, it got suggested to me for years, and the poor GPs, they were doing their best, but they weren't. It's not something that you can really take seriously. But once I started to get better, and once I started to get treatment in the form of medication and therapy, I started to take my health more seriously. I didn't hate myself as much anymore. so I stopped being quite so self-destructive, and I joined a gym. And this is where the 175 comes in. 175 pounds is the weight I was after about 2 months at the gym. I couldn't face weighing myself at first. I went to the gym very regularly. I don't know where the determination came from, it just did. I think maybe I'd just hit that moment and I knew I had to do something. And 175 pounds was how much I weighed after I'd been at the gym for a little while. I know that I've weighed more, but I don't know quite how much more. Yeah, so 2005, after I'd been at the gym, I continued losing weight. I learned more about nutrition. My eating had just been kind of horrific at university. It was loads of takeaways, loads of fast food, and then kind of fasting for a day out of guilt, and then binging on crap. In 2006, after I'd been sort of working out regularly, and I was a lot better, and my depression had gone pretty much. I wasn't completely okay, but I was so much better than I was. I quit drinking because just a variety of reasons. I tried kind of reducing down what I drank, and I did, but every so often I would binge, and then that would set me back into this whole cycle of binging on food and being self-destructive in other ways, and generally I knew I felt better when I didn't drink. And to be honest, alcohol's a depressant. It's not a good idea for a depressed person to be drinking anyway. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense for me to be doing it. Excuse me. And there wasn't any reason for me to be doing it. I mean, there are a lot of reasons that I drunk. I'm not going into them, but there are a ton of reasons that I don't now. So anyway, enough on the alcohol. And my fitness was improving, and by this point, I mean, since I joined the gym at the end of 2004, I would lose weight, then maintain and plateau for a bit, and then I'd say, oh, I'd quite like to be a little bit fitter and, eat a bit better in this area of my life, so I would change that, and then the weight would come up again, and so I'd go down, and then I'd plateau a bit. So I was going kind of like that. Which is why it's kind of, when you see my starting weight of 175 and you say, wow, 2.5 years to lose 40 pounds, kind of, it's like £1 a month. It was kind of more like that, so it wasn't quite as slow as it might seem. And also, to be honest, at first I wasn't necessarily concentrating on the weight. After a while going to the gym, exercise itself helped my depression. It was insane how much I found that in the endorphins from the exercise, and just the sense of achievement that you've got from it. I can't believe how much it helped me. I still can't. I'm very, very grateful that I found exercise. So anyway,